Hello and welcome back to a new IELTS Express Academic Writing Task 2 essay analysis. We have reached essay number 6, and in this lesson we look at how to tackle yet another agree or disagree question about a very hot topic, English as a global language. Now before we get starting, I want to tell you that many people worry about whether to take one side or the other or discuss both sides. And additionally, people also worry about how to deal with to what extent question times. But have no worries, we're going to deal with all these problems today. So let's get started. We're going to start first with understanding the task. And this is the task. As I said before in my previous lesson, agree or disagree questions types are among the most common on the IELTS writing papers, so you don't have to fear them. All you have to do is to learn how to write them properly. And this is because many students fail to do well in this type of question because they don't have a very clear opinion. And again, they don't use an appropriate structure. But before we get to the structure, let's have a look at this question. Again, you should spend about 40 minutes on this task, and you have the following topic. Soon, almost everyone in the world will speak English and most other languages will die out. To what extent do you agree with this point of view? Or to what extent do you agree with this statement? It's the same. Well, first of all, you have to understand that there are two parts to this statement that you need to think about. The first one, English, is becoming a global language, and the other one, the fact that other languages are dying out. So these are the two sides of the problem. And then the question goes, to what extent do you agree? You have to say whether you agree, disagree with the statement, and then give reasons, or you can choose to both agree and disagree, but you have to bring reasons and examples for both stances. And obviously you have to remember to write 250 words. Okay, so first of all you have to know is that in this type of essay, the IELTS examiners want you to give a clear opinion. So in those 4 to 5 minutes of planning out of those 40 minutes which are allotted to this task, you have to decide when you read a question. And you have to decide whether you agree, disagree, or both of them. So in this type of essay, you have two choices. We agree with the statement, yes, everyone in the world will speak English and the other languages will die out. Or I disagree with the statement, no, English will not become the global language and the other languages won't die out. Or I'm someone in between. You can also partly agree with this one. But if you choose to partly agree, so you agree with both of the situations, you have to be very careful to write a very clear essay, not to use a very confusing structure. All right, so let's get started. We're going to have a look at the structure, the introduction, in which you have to paraphrase the question, then two body paragraphs. So if you agree, you have to bring forward two ideas in which you agree, and then you support them with reasons and examples. If you disagree, you bring forth reasons and example why you disagree. If you choose to partly agree, you can go with paragraph 1. In paragraph 1, you agree, and then the second paragraph, you disagree. In both situations, you have to bring arguments and reasons. And then, of course, the last step of the essay, conclusion, in which you restate your opinion. You don't introduce any other new ideas, and you should write it, no matter if it's one sentence long. If you don't do it, if you fail to do so, you're going to be penalized because you have failed to answer the question completely. So let's have a look at the model answer. This one is taken from Expert IELTS 5. As you can see here, the introduction is a paraphrase of the question. Some people say, it's very important not to generalize. Don't say everybody says that. And then they believe that the majority of other languages will become extinct. All right. Introduction, easy peasy, 2 sentence, nothing too complicated. Don't get into too many details. We're moving on to the first paragraph, and I would like you to have a look at it. It starts with, I partly agree with their opinion. There refers to people. And again, you state your opinion. And then if you look a little bit closer, the candidate continues. It is clearly true that, okay, English is becoming widely spoken. And then the next sentences in the paragraph actually bring forth arguments. And you can have a look here. Everywhere you go now, you see English. The first one, even in countries where English is not the native language, you often find menus, tourist brochures, street signs in English. Then the second is many international business use English in their offices when those offices are in Switzerland, Delhi, Hong Kong. Then the third example is here. When a Chinese person meets a Brazilian, they will probably talk to each other in English rather than Chinese. And then the very last sentence of this paragraph is like a conclusion, a restatement. That is the situation now, and I think English will become even more important in the next few years. Right? Nothing too complicated. So there are actually 3 examples. So the first sentence is a topic sentence, understands. Then it's like an explanation. Everywhere you go, now you see English, and then 3 examples. And the last one is a restatement of the question, of the paragraph. This is a very well written paragraph, even though it's for band 5. It's very clear and logic. Well, since the candidates said, I partly agree with their opinion, it means that in the second paragraph, you'll have the other side. However, when you discuss the second part of the statement, and again, if you have a look, you also have opinion here. I do not think. And then, in my opinion, people will speak their native language. And again, we have examples here. People will speak their native language. And the first example here, most people are proud of their own language. They want to pass it on to the next generation. Then the second example, a language is not just words, stories, songs, poetry. And then the third example, parents will always want to share these aspects of their language culture with their children, and they will want schools to teach their children their own language as well as English. And I think this is again a very well balanced and developed paragraph, which supports the other side of the statement, that the person doesn't agree with the fact that English will become a global language. All right, so this means we're heading to the very last part of our essay, the conclusion. You can start with either in conclusion, all in all. You don't even have to signpost it that much if you make sure, if the conclusion is clear that this is the conclusion, that you're not going to start to talk about a new idea. I agree that English will become more and more important, but then we have the second part. But I do not believe that this will lead to the death of other languages. Restating the stance, not including any new ideas, nothing complicated, 2 sentences. And again, at the end of the essay, please make sure you allow 3 to maximum 4 minutes to check your work carefully. Anything, typos, for example, if you're taking the computer-based exam, if you're taking the paper-based, maybe you forgot an S, maybe at times your handwriting is illegible, and again, you can be penalized. Trust me, it helps you greatly. And that would be all. I told you, you don't have to panic. All you have to do is to know exactly how to do it and to read the question very carefully. I do hope you found this Agree or Disagree essay IELTS lesson useful. And if you have, then don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to also subscribe to my channel. I've got a lot of videos and tutorials waiting for you, both on task 1 and on task 2. And until next time, take care of yourself and don't forget to keep practicing on your English. Bye bye.